Hello everyone, welcome to AVLSI lecture number 29.1. Today's topic is small signal analysis of differential amplifier part 1. So let us begin. I think in the last session we have discussed briefly about the derivation of the voltage gain using large signal analysis. Today we will follow the same technique but using we'll be finding the voltage gain of a differential amplifier but using the small signal analysis. So this is my differential amplifier, right? With a small signal input V in 1 and V in 2. Differential input we can consider, and we have a differential output V out, where V out is V out 1 minus V out 2. And it's a symmetric differential amplifier. That means RD1 is equal to RD2 is equal to RD, and the current flowing through the transistors M1 and M2 is ID1 and ID2, and summation of these two currents is equal to ISS, where ISS is my constant current source. So our objective of this analysis is to find out the ratio of V out 1 minus V out 2 divided by V in 1 minus V in 2. Or else we can say that to determine V out 1 minus V out 2 as a function of V in 1 minus V in 2. That's the same thing. Now, before we proceed, we will assume that your M1 and M2 transistors are operating in the saturation region, because this analysis will hold true when they are in saturation only. So what do? We apply a small signal inputs V in 1 and V in 2 to the gate terminals of M1 and M2. So we have already derived the formula for the differential gain or differential voltage gain using large signal analysis, which was given by square root of mu n Cox W by L into ISS into RD. I mean square root of W mu n Cox W by L into ISS, the whole into RD. And this was obtained using the large signal analysis. Now, since each transistor M1 and M2 carries approximately half of the current of ISS, in the vicinity of equilibrium, then we say that this expression of differential gain reduces to as follows. So AD will be given by square root of mu n Cox W by L ID divided by 2 into RD, where the first term is nothing but Gm. So the differential gain formula by large signal analysis is given by mod of AD is equal to Gm into RD, where small gm indicates the transconductance of M1 and M2, which are nearly the same in this case. So basically, the small signal analysis of differential amplifier is carried out using two techniques. So number one is superposition method, and the number two is half circuit technique. So before moving forward to the superposition method, there is one concept which we have to understand, right? With numbers, we will understand it. The virtual ground concept in differential amplifier. So we will try to answer this question. Let us mark this node as P, right? So we'll answer this question that why node P is at virtual ground. Okay, so we'll try to answer that question. So first of all, the analysis is valid only for differential input. So let's say that we have a differential input applied to the gate of M1 and M2 as VID by 2 and minus VID by 2. In numbers, it will be 100 microvolt and minus 100 microvolt. And we have superimposed a common mode signal of 0.1 volt over here to the both the sides. And the current flowing through RD1 is I plus delta I. And let us assume that delta I value is 0.1 microamperes. So I plus delta I will be 10.1 microamperes. Similarly, I minus delta I is 10 minus 0.1 microamperes. That will be 9.9 microamperes. VDD, let us consider it to be 3 volt. And here the voltage current source over here, we'll assume it to be 20 microamperes. 2I is 20 microamperes. Now, further we assume that your VGS1 and VGS2 has an equilibrium value of V equilibrium as 1 volt. So their values changes by delta VGS1 and delta VGS2, which is 100 microvolt and minus 100 microvolt, basically, on the application of differential signal. So differential signal is VID by 2 minus or minus VID by 2. That is VID itself. I mean, that will be VID by 2. That will be around 200 microvolt. Okay, VID by 2 plus VID by 2. That will be VID itself. Now, since the circuit is linearized around the operating point, we can write this the following equation. I plus delta I plus I minus delta I is equal to 2I. If you apply the KVL at this node, what do we get? I plus delta I plus I minus delta I is equal to 2I. So over here, we would like to think that this delta I is nothing but GM into delta VGS. So that's how we will equate them together. So GM into delta VGS plus GM into delta VGS2 is equal to 0. We are considering that both the transistors have similar transconductance. So from here we can write delta VGS1 is equal to minus of delta VGS2, right? So this means they are equal and opposite. So plus delta VGS1 is 100 microvolt and minus delta VGS2 is minus 100 microvolt. Now, next is what do we do is we apply the KVL to the loop 1. So what do we get? VCM plus VID by 2 minus of VGS1 plus delta VGS1, right? Because of the small incremental value change over here, right? We are applying a 200 microvolt signal. So similarly over here, when we apply the KVL, we get VCM plus VID by 2 minus of VGS plus delta, VGS1 is equal to VP, which is again equal to VCM minus VID by 2 minus of VGS2 plus delta VGS2, where delta VGS2 is nothing but 100 microamperes. VCM is 0.1, VID by 2 is 100 microvolt, and here VGS1 plus delta VGS1 is 1 volt plus 100 microvolt. Okay, so from here we get V equivalent got cancelled out, and finally we have the equation over here, equation number 28.10.2. It shows that VID is equal to delta VGS1 minus delta VGS2. That means VID is 200 microvolt and delta VGS is spending around 100 microvolt, and minus delta VGS is spending around again 100 microvolt in magnitude. So your differential signal is consumed by VGS1 and VGS2. Therefore, we say that your point P does not change. Fine. Also, we can further, add to our claim about, point P doesn't change in voltage. It's that about VP is actually given by V in 1 minus VGS1. Okay. VP can be written as V in 1 minus VGS1. Since VGS1 exhibit the same change as V in 1, therefore your VP doesn't change. That means your VP voltage experiences no change. Therefore, the node P can be called as a virtual ground. I don't know how much I was able to justify this, but you look into it, read it once more, and you can refer this one more time. Okay. So let me proceed ahead with the topic at hand. That is the expression for voltage gain using the small signal analysis by superposition theorem. So next time we'll today we are doing superposition theorem. Next time we will do the half circuits equivalent. Now we again our objective and the aim is the same. So we directly would like to join the team. Okay, fine. Yeah. So to determine V out 1 minus V out 2 as a function of V in 1 minus V in 2. So basically we have to find the value of the differential gain. So let's apply superposition theorem. So basically the circuit in the figure number 29.1.1 over here, this is the same one circuit, is driven by two independent small signal sources. Therefore, since there are two independent small signal sources and since it is a slightly linear version, which in the linear region which we are operating with the small signal input, we can say that the output can be computed by superposition method. Okay, so since there are two inputs, we'll consider one input source at a time by superposition theorem. So when one source is active, other source will be inactive. So from this diagram, what shall we write over here? VGS1 is nothing but VG1 minus VS1. VG1 is nothing but V in 1. So VGS1 is V in 1 minus P, and VGS2 is again VG2 minus VS2 is equal to V into minus VP. So again your VGS2 will be VP, V into minus VP. So in our analysis, we assume that V in minus VGS1 is equal to V into minus VGS2. So therefore, from here, it is very clear that point P, why point P is considered to be a virtual sort. Okay. So virtual sort means its voltage will not change over here with respect to other voltages. Now, next step is, this was step number 1. Next step is V into is set to 0. Okay. So we have deactivated this voltage source V into and we have replaced it with the sort. And now we have to determine the effect of V in 1 at X and Y node. Okay. So what we will do is we will apply the small signal analysis. The superposition theorem, right? So let us begin. So we'll neglect the channel modulation and the body effect for the entire analysis. So what will really happen is when we are finding Vx with respect to V in 1, our output is not a concern. V out 2 is not a concern. That's why we have grounded it. So that's why current flow through RD1, it goes to the M1 transistor, it goes to M2, and finally to the ground. So to obtain Vx due to V in 1, we know that your M1 transistor forms a common source amplifier with source degeneration, which is equal to the impedance seen looking at the source voltage, source terminal of M2 transistor. Okay, so here it is looking at the source terminal of M2 transistor. Now next, um, we will further simplify the circuit. So here I have marked source 1, gate 1. Actually, I should have been source 2, drain 2, and gate 2. But nevertheless, so if you look into here, your gate terminal is connected to the ground and your drain terminal is connected to the ground. And you look into the source terminal, what resistance you will get? 1 upon GM2, right? And over here, we look into M1, we'll get 1 upon GM1. Since we have assumed lambda is equal to 0, and we have VDD, RD1, M1, and this resistance coming into picture. So finally, this is my equivalent circuit. But that's how they are proceed. That's how we are proceeded. Finding V in 1 due to Vx. Fine. So now we can write Vx in terms of V in 1 with a simple. We have know the formula for the source degeneration. If you know, you refer AVLSI 12.1 right handout. Now, Vx upon V in 1 will be written as minus RD1 divided by 1 upon GM1 plus RS, where RS is nothing but 1 upon GM2. So, Vx upon V in 1 will be minus RD divided by 1 upon GM1 plus 1 upon GM2. Correct? Next, we find Vx value due to V in 1. Earlier, we found out Vx value due to Vx value due to V in 1, and now we will find the Vy value due to V in 1. So to obtain Vy, we note that your M2 transistor may form a common gate configuration with source degeneration, which is again equal to the resistance looking into the source terminal. So what do we get over here? What do we have over here? We have our Vx. We are finding the value of Vx due to V in 1. So how it goes when we select with respect to over here, right? Let's say V out 2 or Y terminal. So from here VDD, RD2 current flows to M2, M1, and finally to the ground, right? So this circuit can be redrawn as follows. So what we have done is we have taken this M2 transistor down bottom so that it looks in series with, it is in series with M1. So here it is. Here we have this transistor whose drain terminal is grounded. Gate terminal is also applied to your V in 1 transistor, and the source terminal is going to the M2 source terminal transistor. Okay, so that's how the circuit looks like now, a common gate stage. As you can see, why common gate? Because input is applied to the source and your output is taken from the drain terminal. That's why a common gate configuration. Now we can further simplify this further. We'll have VDD, RD2, Vx, Vy, and here we have it like resist impedance looking into the source terminal of M2 transistor whose gate terminal is grounded is given by 1 upon GM2. Okay, so how do we finally write the formula over here? So here we have just drawn, replace this M1 with a resistance 1 upon GM1, right? So RS1 has become 1 upon GM1. Impedance looking into the source terminal of M2 will be 1 upon GM2, right? So Vx upon V in of 1 will be RAD2 divided by 1 upon GM2 plus RS1, where RS1 is nothing but 1 upon GM1. So Vx upon V in 1 is given by RAD divided by 1 upon GM2 plus 1 upon GM1. Okay, so you can refer again AVLSI 12.1 handout for further details. So now that we got the value of Vx upon V in 1 and Vy upon V in 1, now we subtract that thing. So Vx minus Vy due to V in 1 can be written as minus twice RD divided by 1 upon GM1 plus 1 upon GM2, the whole into V in 1. So that's what we get over here, right? So when we subtract, we get minus of twice R2 RD in divided by 1 upon GM1 plus 1 upon GM2, right? And similarly, we can write the same thing as follows. So here we write Vx minus Vy due to V in 1 will be equal to, here let us understand how does the term twice came over here. Actually, when we subtract this Vx minus Vy, right? So this term will be minus only. So here we'll have, yeah. So once one side we have minus of RD divided by 1 upon GM plus GM2. Here it is. Let me show it to you. So yeah, Vx upon V in 1 will be minus RD divided by this denominator. And your Vy will be RD divided by this denominator. So finally we have the result as minus twice RD divided by 1 upon Gm plus 1 upon Gm2 into V in 1. So here is the proof of it. Minus RD into V in 1, right? So here you will have minus twice RD. So minus x will be 2 times x, minus 2 times x. So that's what we have written over here. We got the value of differential output due to V in 1. Okay. So assuming that your transistors are matched, we put GM1 and GM2 is equal to GM. So the formula modifies to minus twice RD divided by twice GM into V in 1. So twice and twice gets cancelled, and Vx minus Vy due to V in 1 is given by minus GM into RD into V in 1. Fine. For the next case, what do we do by superposition theorem? We set V in equal to 0 and we find Vy. We'll find the effect of V into at x and y. So by virtue of symmetry, the effect of V into at x and y is identical to that of V in 1, except for a change in the polarities. So therefore, Vx minus Vy due to V in 2 will be equal to plus GMRD into V in 2. So here we got earlier minus GMRD, but this time we are getting plus GM into V in 2. Now we have to add both the sides, right? We have to add the terms of 28.10.6. Here it is. And also we have to add 28.10.7 to perform the superposition. So therefore we have Vx minus Vy total is equal to minus Gm into Rd into V in 1 plus Gm into Rd into V in 2. Okay. So now we can take out the terms together. So here we have Vx and Vy as V out 1 and V out 2 basically. So V out 1 minus V out 2 is divided by V in 1 minus V in 2 is equal to minus Gm into Rd. So here it is how we got that, right? Now here I put a cross mark over here, right? So that is just to indicate how we got this plus Gm into R into value. So let me show it to you. Yeah. So, once we compare the equations 28.10.6, 7 and 8, which will indicate that the magnitude of the differential gain is equal to Gm into Rd regardless of how the inputs are applied. Okay. So, yeah, that's what it is. 28.10.8, 28.10.6. So that's what we have written over here. That if the output is single-ended, right, it is sensed between the X node and the ground or Y node and the ground. Okay, so your gain becomes half. Single-ended gain will be minus half into Gm into Rd. That is a single-ended gain for a differential amplifier for due to differential inputs. Okay, so these are the observations and the learnings from the small signal analysis. So we have come towards the end of the session now. We have completed today's topic well within time. And yeah, let's see if you have any doubt. We have discussed today the virtual ground concept, and we started the analysis of differential amplifier, small signal analysis of differential amplifier by superposition theorem. So we activated one source while other source was deactive, and finally, we believe that your VP point over here does not change, and based on that, we have derived the formula for the Vx minus Vy divided by, we can say over here. Let me go back to the equations of V in one minus Vx minus Vy. So let me go over here. Yeah. So Vx minus Vy due to V in one, we got this answer minus twice Rd divided by 1 upon Gm1 plus 1 upon Gm2 into V in one. And over here we have Vx minus Vy due to V in one. And finally, we calculated Vx minus Vy due to V in two. So let us try to understand what happens in V in two. So how Vx minus Vy due to V in two is equal to plus Gm into Rd into V in one. So let's try to understand that. So how can we write Vx voltage? Vx can be written as due to V in two can be written as Rd divided by 1 upon Gm plus 1 upon Gm2 into V in two, right? Where Vx is coming from that M1 transistor is forming a common gate stage, whereas your MX or MY transistor is causing the common stage gain effect. Okay, so it's a common source amplifier basically, right? With RD2 and M2 resistor, it forms a common source amplifier. So here the gain will be minus RD divided by 1 upon Jm plus 1 upon Gm2 into V in 2, right? So these are the two formulas what we got. So here in this thing, Vx minus Vy will be equal to Gm into Rd into V into. So you can go through this analysis. We assume that Gm1 and Gm2 is equal to Gm only. Their trans conductance are matching. Fine. So along with the observations which we observed and learned from the formulas, that your differential gain of a differential amplifier is given by minus Gm into Rd. And if anyone tries to, minus Gm into Rd, and here for a single-ended gain of a differential amplifier due to differential input will be minus half Gm into Rd. I guess we have come to the end of this session. So we have covered the small signal analysis of um, differential amplifier by superposition method. Okay, so that's all for today. Next time we will continue the discussion on the small signal analysis of differential amplifier part 2. So until then, have a good day and thank you.